What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. In the right-hand corner of the map, playing as Super Yomi. His name is El Matador. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Kronos. He goes by the name Lisa Teach Me Japanese. Hi. I don't know what that means, why it means that, but he is a Italian man, and I can't see what his former names are, so I can't tell you exactly which Italian man this is, but they have been playing very, very high-level Age of Mythology. And we're going to be watching this one as we are going to be seeing the Kronos Rush, everyone's favorite strategy to hate. Time to learn what to do against this one, as Matador has not yet scouted to see if it's coming or not. This is the number one, number two, number three, number four thing you should be thinking when you play versus Kronos is my opponent Kronos rushing me? Now, to some degree, you can actually react as Tsukiyomi here to the Kronos Rush to some degree at the late, figuring it out late. So you could charge in at say 2:30, and if you don't see that citizen popping out of the town center at 2:30, now we can train 2 Mikor and then we can advance for a 4-minute advance time. So there is a very specific high level way to play with a very delayed scout. So you can do that, because really all you need to delay or to deny any amount of damage early on is 3 Mikor. And then from there, you're going to have to start thinking about walls to defend against the incoming Terma threat and go from there. But we can see Lisa is ready for some action here as he comes forward, and he's going to be ready to smash in here with all of his shenanigans. I should say there's some relics on the map, but we've got the Eye of Horus. Over on this side, we've got the Feather of Bafang. Over here, we have the Trojan Gate Hinge. All hit points, and the Ship of Fingernails giving a little bit of trickle of food. And we just saw that Matador only goes one Mikor, and he is disrespecting this to the nines here. He does not care about this Kronos Rush. He's like a delayed advance time. He is going to try and defend. The Prometheans do actually beat a Mikor. 1 Mikor does not beat these Prometheans here. They will be searching out across the lands, trying to find something. Temple deconstruction, honestly, doesn't do a huge amount here. There's a little bit of idle time coming in from these Prometheans. Two villagers going to dive into that town center, but an absolutely impeccable defense thus far from Matador. He barely keeps his Mikor alive, and only now does he advance. Only now. This is so delayed. The Mikor healing rate is really, really high. You're getting about 5 HP a second back during combat. 10 HP if they're idle. And these villagers will simply just charge forward and shank. So this is the idea from Matador. He says, I am going to defend with villagers, take the idle time, and we'll go from there. As the Mikor still surviving, trying to dodge, duck and dodge, but it does end up going down as the Terma presence now in. Now we've got the Jiragumo in. And the game continues. A stable to come down. 1 Terma hero in here is the Kitsune is going to pull back, get healed back up. The village is going to finish up on these giraffe here. Valor coming through. It's the double stable actually on the way. And Matador needs more Mikor. Like at this point, I actually think you should go up to 5, 6 Mikor as Japan now. Reason being is you're going to hold this with the Miko heals. And then the Miko, after you've dealt with the rush, go onto favor. And then you just get a massive amount of favor to start going into like Jiragumo spam, or going into Tengu, or going into Oni. As Matador still under a lot of pressure here. He is taking a lot of damage, refusing to use that new moon. I think he's made this game incredibly hard for himself. Picks up that Catapultis there. Throws that one as Swampland will get dropped down onto this position. Going to be throwing away his Jiragumo as these low HP Catapultis going to also go down. He charges into the main base. The Terma will pull away. Honestly, one Naginata Rider is all you need to take this out. Just the one. Because you can cut in and just heal it up. But nonetheless, it looks like the Kronos Rush has been dealt with for the time being. I'd love to see a dojo and like one samurai as well. That would completely shut everything out. Shut everything down here. They say it is dealt with, but the attack's going to continue on for just a little bit longer. There's Matador. Yeah, he definitely does need something other than Cav. Because once the Catapultis come in, it's a bit of a problem. Deconstruction down onto a stable. Watchtowers coming through. That's a nice little help there for Matador. He's going to throw up another stable. I'm still surprised it's not a dojo here. As the Naginata Riders are just going to say, I don't even care about my main base anymore. I got the Watchtowers up. But still lots of idle time getting caused. Oracle on the back here. Does get spotted. Will go down. Dragon Breath asking about playing Japan in ranked. What's the best way to play? Well, basically, Matarasu is the samurai god, so go for samurai with her. Tsukiyomi is the cavalry god, so you start with cav with him. And Susanoo is the myth unit god, so you want to go myth units with Susanoo. So it doesn't really matter what you go with Susanoo. You just counter your opponent and build myth units. Or try and build units that kill off your opponent's heroes and myth units. So villagers will try and move forward onto these chicken. The Naginata Riders still charging around, looking for little something to take out. And Lisa teach me Japanese. We'll be pulling back for the time being. Temple into the main base. And this Kronos Rush is completely over. I'd say that the damage was done and then we're in a pretty equal spot to some degree here. You've still got the Tsukiyomi... We've still got the Tsukiyomi Bushido to come through soon. So that's going to give a little bit of a boost up for the Matador army. He is searching for units to pick off, oracles and all the other good stuff, making sure that no one's sneaking anything. There are some citizens on the backside here. And, you know, taking out a Promethean might not seem like the best idea with the Naginata Riders, but because you're getting the Bushido, even losing a little bit of HP for this one, he can pull back, heal that up, no problems. But he gets even closer to having that next tier of upgrade through. And now Matador is just going to do what Matador does best. And he's going to look for some sneaky raids, charges in. Mamilos, Catapultis and all the other good stuff on that side. Is this Outapest? I don't think this is Outapest. He's from Italy, my friend. Not Japan. Now more Naginata riders to come in, and that's going to be a citizen picked. And Matador out of there for the time being. Still searching around with the other lot of cavalry. This is something that Matador is so good at, the multi-raids. But at least they're doing a good job of keeping up. Though his units are not keeping up with his APM at the moment. He is defending somewhat nicely. As the cav trying to get in here, he does steal some goats away. Searching up to the top side. Is an armory going to be getting thrown up here? But Matador is also looking for his own heroic age. The citizen gets caught out. Dead citizen stopping the armory. But the market's going to finish up here. So it's not the biggest of deals. Meanwhile, our Kronos player needs to find some raids here. Up onto the top side. Oh, berries. I doubt that Matador checks this, but he might. Charging around here. He might spot it on the way through here, actually, back to his main base. There is a nice army here. It looks like he has missed the berries, but not the end of the world. He will see that his goat gets stolen back over here, so that might alert him to a little something, but for the moment, Hachiman going to be coming through, and Matador is going to be ready to drop his armory upgrades down momentarily. He dropped a market, did he? He went to market and sold some resources. But armory to come down, copper weapons, copper mail, copper shields, and then in onto that full bronze as these Matador raiders just sneaking around the very edge of the map here. But there is a big problem for Matador, which is his gold mine is running out. His gold mine is running out, and he's going to need to fight for that second gold mine. And he doesn't have Swampland for it. As Lisa poking in here, we do see misses on that Oracle over there, unfortunately. A little bit too focused on what's going on the front. Now we will have the Yumi Horse Archers, which, to be honest, aren't amazing in this situation. I'd much rather see a handful of samurai because the Yumi Horse Archers are going to die to those Terma. Goes over onto this side. The raids onto the back line is Lisa going to be losing a couple more citizen there. And he's still looking for damage into this position, but so far Matador's defense too strong. He's really just going to get back to work. And the Naginata Riders will be out of here. The Fowler there onto that. Murmillo keeps it alive, and the Tengu from Matador will go down. I keep seeing this unit dying. This is a unit that really should almost never die. We do have the Shogun now coming through for Matador. So at least he will get some samurai out of that. As the Naginata Riders still in search of villagers to kill. The catapulties are there to defend this position, and Matador will have to pull back. Now got the medium range soldiers. And all the other good stuff. Now that new moon onto the armory comes in. You'll see up onto this top side a little bit of a slap here from the Miko. Not happy with the Terma as it's going to be pulling back ever so slightly in onto the middle here. Matador does have to be somewhat careful. His army is hard countered by those catapulties if they can touch these units. That's the big question, if they can touch them. The horse archers coming through. They managed to snipe a Terma without losing a horse archer. He had the high ground. As it's a full population Kronos army here. His armory upgrades are behind. There is a very, very real possibility for Bushido tier 3 to come online in this fight. But the big problem here is Naginata Riders do not beat these Catapultis here. And they will be erasing these units of Matador. Matador's shooting, scooting to his heart's content here. He's trying to get back here. He's got the heavy units in now. With the Terma continuing to go forward on those Yumi horse archers. Onto the back, the Shogun will end up going down as well. And Lisa, he doesn't need to learn anything about Japanese because he is in an amazing position now to take out all these villages. Yes, he needs to get himself to heavy upgrades pretty shortly here. But in taking out these villages, this is a big, big advantage for him moving forward. And Matador is now in some real trouble here. But realistically, the big secret to winning in these sorts of situations, once you pick off a whole bunch of villages here on this gold mine, is to just run. Retreat back, let your economy carry you for a couple minutes, and then we are good to go. Because I don't think that Lisa Teach Me Japanese, even though he's taken out all those units, I don't think he can beat Matador's army anymore. And Matador, he needs to get some raids off. Somehow, some way. He's got no gold income. He doesn't have himself Ivory Netsuke either. So there's no gold to come through. But there will be raids. He can come in, he can pick citizens off. And all the good stuff that happens over here. There's one citizen down. 2 citizens down. Needs to teach me Japanese. Needs to react to this. The ballistics is such a big help on these raids as well. Because you can't run away from this and expect to dodge the arrows. He picks off another citizen. They got a couple of Terma. With that Age of Empires 2 micro, even more citizens going down. Up onto the top. Matador desperately wanting to move over there and grab that gold mine back. Charges his horse archers into the army, though, of at least to teach me Japanese. Taking a little bit of damage there. We'll see if Matador can break out of this problem that he's in. This bind he's in. I mean, the villager picks here have been crucial for Matador. That's brought him back in a big way. He now needs to start thinking, okay, do I go for the gold mine? Because selling here isn't really an option for much longer. If even now, I don't think it's really an option for him.
Nani?
So Miko back to work as the Terma say, no, get out of there.
Nani?
Was he going to notice it? Nope.
Shijiaru?
Dead Miko. Feels bad. Now he notices just that little bit too late. So Tengu come through, picking that off. The villagers will be able to, at the very least, grab that gold mine. The most important thing here for our Kronos player is to get to the heroic age. He needs heroic age because he needs to catch up on tech. He's got the economic advantage, kinda. I wouldn't even say he's got it anymore. But he does have a military resource lead, which does mean he can get away with not really spamming any units out for just a little bit. As Matador's control of these horse archers. Strong as ever. Catapulti's going down. Gets a couple of picks. Does lose a couple of horse archers for it, though. It's never really a bad idea to trade in these sorts of situations. As long as you're trading equally as the Japan, because you're going to get closer to champion units. So Tengu diving in. There is no Tengu master, so aesthetic practice is not in. Which does mean that these guys aren't as powerful as they could potentially be, but they're still going to be an amazing frontline as there's very little in the way of heroes here for Lisa. And Matador will be able to charge through this army like it's nothing because of those Tengu. And he pulls back, waiting for that special, dives in, huge damage onto that front line there as it's all getting erased. And Lisa is slowly but surely falling behind in this game. The Naginata Riders will not be allowing those Terma back home. That's a lot of Terma. They're obviously very good versus the Yumi Horse Archer. But they need heavy and they need upgrades. I think Matador, now he's getting himself aesthetic practices, is going to make these Tengu even more of a nightmare to deal with. Matador just picking apart this Kronos army. It just cannot deal. It just cannot deal with what Matador is doing. The control is too strong. Now, one thing's for certain here: the Matador micro is a little bit easier than the Kronos micro here. Kronos needs to shoot and scoot forward and point and click, whereas Matador just needs to scoot and shoot back and A move. Because there's a front line, right? The Terma need to be moving forward to hit the Terma. They can't be hitting those Naginata Riders. A little bit more micro intensive, and Lisa has not been able to execute that at all, as we are getting even closer to Bushido tier 3 here. A castle coming up into the center of the map for Matador. What do Tengu do? So when they jump, they get a gigantic boost to their armor. It goes up by 1.5, 1.3, and 1.3. And then aesthetic practices makes that do 2x or something for the jump attack. Random commoner down the bottom of the map, just chilling. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Matador heading back into the middle of the map to pick off even more stuff. You could start considering a Mythic Age here. He's so far in front. Gets the Mythic Age through Okuninushi or Watatsumi for that matter. You can now drop and then drop the New Moon and get full Iron. I don't think there's much that our Kronos player can do here. Maybe a quick Mythic Age through Impo to take down all these units. Could work. Town Center though for Matador. Nice and safe. Now the Naginata Riders to come through. I'm going to start getting a couple of snipages. And there is the Hyperion for our Kronos player. But it might just be that little bit too late here. He does have a second town center. He does have a villager lead, and it's absolutely gigantic. But look at the food in the bank from Matador. He obviously can't sell it, but he has so much food. Thank you for the 10 months, Torte. Torte? Torte. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. As the tank dive through, ready to start getting involved over here. I don't think it's really important to not waste that jump, because that goes on cooldown and lasts a really long time. If there's one thing that is well worth doing, it's turning that jump off autocast. Except for in the middle of a fight. And you can turn it back on after you manually jump in. Look, how am I supposed to get your nickname right if you don't tell me how to say it? Huh? Matador feeling very, very confident here. Chaos onto that back line as Hyperion hits. The Miko will pull back. And it looks like Matador is going to be able to clean this army up. And Lisa Teach Me Japanese will not be able to hold here. Will not be able to get another army out. And Matador is going to probably move away with this win here. As the army keeps coming through, and I think as soon as he sees champion, he'll just tap out because that is way too much to deal with. As Matador takes the dub. I was going to say a well-played game from Matador, but that early game was not it at all. He didn't scout the Kronos Rush. He had a big problem in that early stage of the game. Let's actually take a quick look at the economic side of things. And you can see it wasn't a crazy difference. This is pretty close, all things considered. I think Matador did well inside of the situation, but he didn't need to make it that difficult. It didn't need to put that much work in. Could have been much cleaner with defending that Kronos Rush. I'll stick to my guns. I don't think Kronos Rush versus the Japanese is a valid strategy. I don't think it works. I think you have to go a different way. But if you guys enjoyed this game, make sure you hit the follow on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.